Hey, welcome to another episode of Geek Money Life. And so the middle class is in danger. Is this the end of the middle class? Well, if you've been spending any time just looking at the US economy, this has been an ongoing thing for decades. This isn't something new, and the overall middle class consistently keeps shrinking year over year. And so a recent study that was done by Pew Research, and I will leave that in the description area below, shows that from 1971 to 2021, the actual middle class has decreased from 61% to 50%, while the actual upper income class has increased from 17 to 21%, plus the lower income class has also increased from 25 to 29%. With those type of numbers, is there even going to be in a middle class in the future? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, because this is something that is a reality. It's not going to slow down anytime soon, and maybe in the future there might not be a middle class here in the United States. Now, before we get into this, let's go ahead and define what a middle class is. Now, when it comes to defining the middle class, there's many different ways you can look at it. You can look at it by net worth, assets versus liabilities, your economic and demographic factors. There's so many ways you can look at this, but we're going to keep things simple and just look at overall household income. So in general, the middle class is considered $50,000 to $150,000 household income. And within that, there's different ranges of middle class. There's lower middle class, middle class, and then there's upper middle class. So there is a range there. But in general, if you have a household income between that, then you're considered middle class. And so this is where the big problem comes in, and it affects everybody no matter what class that you're in. And that's basically the increase of living costs. This is something that we can't escape. Things are constantly going to cost more every single year with interest rates, inflation, and just the overall cost of goods. It's always going to continually increase over time, but the actual income that people earn, it doesn't increase at the same levels. All you have to do is look at how much you pay for things now, like your milk, your food, your gas, or your education going to college, and then compare it to what it is now. And most importantly, things like your homes. Homes are way more expensive now, especially after the pandemic, where we've had increases of over 30% in households. And for most people with an average household income, they're typically never going to catch up to the overall rising costs that we all experience, unless they focus and plan on different things. And so as I mentioned a little bit earlier, there was an increase in the other two classes. For the upper income class, we had an increase of 17 to 21%. And then the lower income class, we had an increase of 25 to 29%. And the vast majority of people in the middle class right now are actually going to drop down to the lower income class for all those reasons, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. However, you can be a part of the upper income class by focusing on what their upper income and wealthy class actually do, and that's basically lowering their expenses, making more money, and investing and saving for the future. And these are basic principles that I think all of us know that we should do. However, for the vast majority of the middle class, this isn't what they focus on. The middle class is in general the largest consumer group, because they're the ones who actually have more money than lower income class, so they have expendable income. But at the same time, since they're consuming so much, they're actually the one with the most debt, and so they can never really move up over to the upper income class unless they change their habits, their financial education, and also the overall planning that they do for the long term. And without doing those things, which is definitely more difficult, especially if you're going to be doing this for decades, there's really no way else that you could actually move up, and more than likely you're going to drop down to a lower income class, and that's really going to make it hard for a lot of people to survive. So if you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my money and debt-free videos, I do have playlists for that. I'll leave in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Protect your online privacy and keep data brokers from selling your personal information by using Delete Me, the #1 privacy information remover service since 2010. Sign up today and get 20% off your first order. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below.